Hello everyone and welcome back to part 5 of Warhammer 40k. I said earlier that I'm not sure exactly how far I'm going to be going with this video, but you know, making progress. Get some good learning experience in for this. It's a good game. Definitely not dull. I will say that, you know, in the second playthrough it does seem a little bit more linear than I remember.
What is the Inquisition doing?
Dan's retina scanned by a floating skull. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
This is Inquisitor Roman. I need urgent assistance.
Nice haircut, buddy.
They're after the experimental device.
I'd say something bad like, you know, the Readings wants his haircut back, but I think in the Readings would look at you like they're fucking freak.
Now I'm trapped.
Looks kind of like that guy from the Fifth Element.
You must keep the device.
It was very old when you played him. He was like the weapons dealer. I forgot what his name was in the movie. I haven't seen the movie in a while. That's what he looks like with that half, like, you know, bald in the hair, work for one side. So yeah. I guess let's talk about the Inquisition a little bit. In this brutal existence that is the Warhammer 40k universe, there are how do you say it? Covert forces? It's not covert forces. Forces that have infiltrated or attempt to infiltrate and undermine the Empire. So, the Inquisitors will do inquisitions where they go through, they go to specific places where they suspect, you know, there could be a heretic. Heresy leads to, like, you know, chaos or alien infestation. You know, aliens are taking over a planet or something like that. Or mutants. Is it mutants? I think it's mutants. There's three houses. Like, some of them deal with heretics, some of them deal with aliens. I think this is Xeno's house. I know that because from Aliens the movie you have like the Xenomorphs. So it's heretics. I think that's House Varus? No. It's Malice. I think Malice is the mutant. Xenos is the alien. I don't remember the House of the Heretics. But those are the three divisions they cover. Inquisitors get, like, you know, a bunch of money, they get a lot of leeway, they don't have to follow a lot of laws. I think there might be, like, ones that, you know, make sure that Inquisitors haven't, like, fallen to whatever they've been fighting as well. That they can put them on trial occasionally. If they've been suspected that they've been listening wrong. And hunt other Inquisitors. Like I said, I've read some of the books. Like, I've read, I think Eisenhorn may have been, no. I think Cypress King was the first one I read. I'm sure I'm completely butchering his name. But I read Eisenhorn. Maybe the second book, and the second book I read from the Warhammer universe. A lot of great books. For those of you who can read, you know, other than like stop signs and stuff like that, just definitely pick up some of the Warhammer books. They're very engaging. Like, the first one I got was, well, it's an omnibus, so it's like, it's actually 3 books, or 3 or 4 books put into one. But, you know, it's kind of intimidating, intimidating to me as someone who didn't pleasure read too much before. Like, I never liked to read that much when I was, oh crap, whoa, I did not see that guy there. How did I miss this asshole? Good thing you're nice and slow, buddy. You're gonna make an easy target. Uh-oh. Gotta reload first. Gotta reload. Hop in the head a couple of times. Hey, you go ahead and dash the ground like that. It'll do a whole bunch of good. There's a servo skull in the background there. You won't be picking up. I collected 0 servo skulls, and I will continue to pick up 0 servo skulls. What are you guys doing? Why did they come back here? I was clearly doing all the work, and you guys are really stuck with the glory. Fucking glory hounds. Yeah, the first time I saw one, you know, I drink a lot and stuff like that. You guys haven't figured that out. So reading isn't really on my list of things to do, although it wasn't, I should say. I do now. I read quite a bit these days. One of my friends said, I don't read because I feel my vocabulary is big enough. You should read because it exercises your fucking brain more. But, the first time I saw one, and I saw they were like, you know, close to 1,000 pages. They're usually between like 750 and, you know, 1,000 plus pages. And when you see something like that, you don't really read that much. It's fairly intimidating, or at least it was for me. But then after I started doing it, like reading it's like, man, after I get to page like 100, I'm like, damn, I'm almost done with this bad boy. And then I think about picking for another one. Like, you go through them that quickly because the stories are really that engaging. Like, you don't feel like at any point that it's like it's a chore to read it. Like, you really want to find out what's happening. Plus, it gives you a chance to use your imagination. I know a lot of our imagination is dictated by, you know, things like video games, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's nice for you to be able to picture in your head, you know, things for yourself. Staying with the creative will help you a lot in the long term for anything. Like, it doesn't matter what job you're looking to get into, or you're in school and you know. When you're writing papers and things like that, or you're getting reports, I'm gonna let these guys move out of the way, asshole. Get out of the way. Why are you blocking the way? I think I might have been running into a pipe, so some of that was my fault, but primarily, I'm gonna blame him. Just turn around. Why are you? I know I'm running like a little bitch, but I want to leave a little bit of space between me and this guy, because I won't be able to do all that dodging and stuff like that, except for backward dodging when there's nowhere to go. How did he get all the way back here? How did they both get all the way back here? What? Did he just clip out of the screen? He did! I hope he's not dead. I'm going to need him to sell them some more bullet firing for me in the future. This is an interesting situation. Uh-oh. I think I spoke too soon. Alright. So sometimes being the bitch pays off to your advantage, as his body slumps lifelessly over the cliff.
We cannot allow that.
Yeah, no, having a good imagination, I don't care what anyone says. If anyone's, oh, get your head out of the cloud, you tell me to shove it, dude. Having a good imagination is pretty much how I got everything I have today in my life. You know, from thinking, you know, you have the ability to think outside the box, so come up with solutions to things. It all helps, it all comes or stems for imagination. I imagine that. Ooh. I'm sure your insurance will cover that.
This is Captain Titus of the Ultramarines. Identify yourself.
This is Corporal Antioch, sir. That is, my lord.
I need access to the
Corporal Antioch. You gotta hope that's a family name. I guess it would be. Usually when you say someone's rank, you say their last name, but
Stand ready. We'll be there
I don't know, this is English military, so they could be, it may not be the way things work. They say things like lieutenant and stuff, so I'm not sure about their order. Most of the dates are like out of order there. Like I know in, like every time I go to overseas or I read like a report from somewhere not, what the fuck am I supposed to be doing? Oh, okay. I totally didn't see that door open. So anything I need here? Nope, got one of those. Got one of those. Yep, I'm okay. I'll just pick up some ammo. Good to go. Yeah, anytime I get like a report or something like that from overseas in England, like they put the day, the month, and then the year. So instead of like you know, I don't know, we'll pick an arbitrary date in a month like June. So instead of like June 26, 2012, they would put, well, which would be 06, 26, 12, you know, by English state, by American dating standard. They'd put 260612, which you know, obviously, when you look at it the first time you got aware of what's happening, you're like, what idiot? There's not 26 months in the year. This is completely absurd. But, you know, since that's the way their numbering system works, or that's the way their dating works. Which I guess, you know, after you see it enough times, it does make a little bit of sense. Like they're putting it in incremental dates. They're putting the day, the month, and then the year. Which, looking at it from our standard, I could see how they'd be like, well, what the fuck are those idiots doing? Why would you put the larger denomination of time in the beginning, and then the smaller one, and then the largest one at the end? That seems kind of nonsensical. Kind of, you know. This is me doing it so long. Maybe that was just like, you know, when they signed the Declaration of Independence or whatever, they just wanted, we're gonna do this to stick it to the man and even again. Screw you, England. Shout out to the English. You guys got cool shit. I love your accents. I love your humor. I've been watching Misfits on Hulu. It's a great series. It's a lot like that show Heroes, but I always thought Heroes was essentially like Lost, which I didn't think Lost made any goddamn sense from the get-go. Like I watched the first season of Lost, and then after like season 2 started, I'm like, what the? They haven't done anything. They're still stuck on this goddamn island, and then I lost interest for a while, and then I came back to it with someone else. Like, oh, we gotta watch Lost. The new season is starting up. And I'm like, let me guess, they're still on the island. Oh yeah, they're totally still on the island. They got off, but now they're back on the island. Like, well, if they left, wouldn't that be a good way to end the series or something? No, there were so many questions unanswered. This looks like a killing pit. I don't remember this part, but I see stuff. I saw something straight off in the distance over there. Whatever. I don't care. We get killed, we get killed. Well, we ain't getting killed by these assholes. Probably could have saved that for some harder enemies, but whatever. Whatever's clever, right? Fuck, I keep on getting sidetracked. I get sidetracked while playing this game. Forget about the story I'm trying to tell, and the point I'm trying to make. Yeah, that was my thing. Like, if you're off the island, why would you go back? Oh, because the island has to call them back. I'm like, but since when the islands speak? Well, the island totally speaks in Lost. I'm like, they just make shit up, don't they? I think the writers are on heroin, and it's fucking just, hey man, would it be really, really trippy if we did this and we have the island talk to people? Wouldn't that make sense? Wouldn't that be something you watch? And there are other people on heroin. I'm not sure what heroin users are like, but I doubt they disagree with them because, you know, they're all on the same drug, even sipping from the same Kool-Aid, so they're probably not going to say no. But yeah, back to my original point before I got to this one. Heroes was a lot like that, I felt. Like, I watched Heroes, one of my older roommates loved that show. You know, he has dreams about flying, and, you know, nothing wrong with that. Everyone can do. But, you know, one of the main characters can just fly, so he instantly hooked on it. And, you know, the superpowers a lot of those people had. It started out the same way Lost did. I'm like, oh, this is kind of interesting. But then, again, it quickly went nowhere. Like, the plot just, it never progressed anywhere. And they never did anything too clever. They're like, the plot progression in Lost and Heroes to a greater extent were just so boring. Like, they never made any significant attempts in the week that you were gone to, like, you know, convey reasons for me to come back. And I'm like, I give up on these series at any time. And then I think they abruptly canceled Heroes. Like, they played Lost after the end where they had like a season finale and stuff like that. They just canceled Heroes outright. And I was like, oh well, it's just done. Like, I wasn't really that invested anyway. He's all like, no, I'm gonna cancel it. How could they do such a great show? Like, it was a great show to you, but the people with taste, not really. I'm sure I've offended more than my fair share of Heroes lovers, but you want to talk to me about how good Heroes is? You can leave it in the comments. Maybe I'll address it later in another video, but I wouldn't hold my breath about it. Like, I've pretty much been set on this for quite some time. You gotta love how these enemies don't do anything sometimes. And then they're, oh wait, hold on. We're supposed to be fighting. That guy just completely exploded. But, oh yeah, no, it's, I completely forgot again. Misfits is a little bit like Heroes, only like the writers were actually good. Like, I'm fairly sure they were on drugs, maybe? Possibly, but not to the extent that people in Heroes were on. Where they were like, we do so much drugs that we don't have to work. Misfits is, you know, again, a situation where there's people with powers, but the powers are more of a burden than anything else from the get-go. And then, you know, it centers around the buffoonery of the characters. Like, it's a very funny series. I mean, it's got, you know, mortality issues where some people die and stuff like that, but more than anything else, the stuff they go through is very... I'm going to use the word juvenile in this case because it's... it's pretty funny. Well, I remember this part. We're going to get a new weapon here. We get the, this axe sleeve over here. I'm going to pick up this axe just for the sake of picking up the power axe, but I'm not going to keep it. I think I'm going to go back and get the chainsword after we're done with this wave. I'll use it a couple times just for the sake of using it. Like, I'm going to try to do that with a lot of the weapons, but I prefer the chainsword just because the chainsword combo is shorter than this one.
Hold the lift. We have orcs inbound.
Here. Like, there's more movement involved in using the power axe than there is in using the chainsaw. I think I may have overdone it. I may have overestimated my work there. Oh crap. Well, look guys, this is one of the situations I talked about where there's too many enemies on the screen for me to actually charge my power, because the guys who are, like, if I stun one of them, crap, I hit the wrong button to stun anyway. It would not have worked. Oh man. Yeah, that's a situation where if I were to stun one of them and started doing the in-game cutscene to get my life back, then they probably would have killed me anyway. Excuse me. So we'll give this another shot. Maybe this is one of those areas where I mentioned I should bring out the bolt rifle. Just because there's quite a few guys in this level. And this horde was not let up. For the most part.
We are in position.
Excellent, Captain.
This wave isn't terrible, but there's a variety of enemies and the wave keeps coming and coming and coming. So like I had mentioned before, you want to do, let's switch to this now, you want to do good crowd control. What I just practiced before was not good crowd control. So, let's practice those and move down here. Now, a few of them at least. I think there's some more ammo in the back here where we're going to be hanging out. Yeah, see, I don't like that whole diving motion. Like, I much prefer the wave, even though, you know, when you swing the axe, it does move you out of the way for most of the guys. But you still have to face off, whoa, hey, that's kind of close. Like, if it's done the right way, I guess it is pretty sweet, but I think the stationary movement of the chainsaw is somewhat superior. Just maybe call it personal preference. Like, I'm sure there's quite a few people who are like, no, the power axe is way better. to get my shields back here. There's some types of friends up here. Forgot about them. Reload faster! Reload faster! They're not gonna stop coming from you. That's why I saw guys are gonna play. There it is. But these guys are just toast. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that last part. Like, I kind of like controlling my movement, well, to the point where I know where I'm going to be going. Forgot about these guys. Grenade out there. Oh, that one went way too far. So yeah, well, I think this is kind of contained for the most part. Maybe not. I was wrong. Well, let's just go. Let's just get this into the room. I don't think there's anyone else who's going to be coming anytime soon. I also have more room to maneuver now than I did before. There's a lot of enemies on the screen like that. Not so easy to do. This roll will save your life, obviously. I'll do it quite often. I'm going to see if I can keep one of these champions on the screen for the end. Just so I can get most of my health back. You know, or just ensure that I get most of my health back after I've dealt with the rest of the horde here. But that doesn't mean William has to die before that. Probably should have saved some of those grenades. Oh yeah, you can. I think Misfits comes on Hulu for those of you who have Hulu, which is between that and Netflix. I don't see why you'd ever want to keep cable again, but that's me personally. It comes on Mondays. I'm not sure what time on Monday, because that's a great thing about Hulu. I don't really have to keep track of time. Like, when it comes out, I'm just gonna kill this guy fighting. Oh, you gotta kill me. 57 bullets left. You don't have to really worry about time just because it's always going to be there for, it won't be there forever, but it'll be there for usually a set period of time to let you know how long it'll be available. Ooh, wow. That was grisly. Let's see, there's some ammo back here.
Corporal Antioch?
I'm not going to get any
Yes, my
grenades,
lord.
but...
We have word that an Inquisitor is in the Manufactorum.
Yes, Lord Drogan. We have not seen him for several days.
Alright.
Has the Liberation fleet arrived, my lord?
Alright.
The fleet is still en route, Corporal. The Ultramarines are here as a vanguard. Cripple the enemy and secure the most valuable assets.
I see.
But the facility and its titans remain secure.
All I can say for certain
Oh,
is that
yeah,
no
but I guess we're
one
actually
has
gonna see
breached
the
this
Titan.
gate, my lord.
Contact Lieutenant Mira. Her unit is establishing a bastion in Habs.
How do you know? This place is freaking a mess.
Craft now have a viable approach from orbit.
What of the colonel and his staff?
They did not survive.
If he's lying, I'd totally call him on court-martial. Actually, I think I'd be judging an executioner. I'd probably just whack this guy in the face if I wanted to. But anyway, we are approaching about that time, so I'm just going to cut this off here. Save and quit, and then I will catch up with you guys later. Always follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, and check out my hub page. Until then, you guys have a good evening.